P8500-3-1.5. This is a special machine designed by AMH, and it's used for expanding tubing, beading tubing, or locking tubes into tube sheet for heat exchangers. It is completely self-contained. There's various dies that come with the machine depending on what the application is for. It's mounted on a reservoir that has 4 polyurethane casters, so it can be moved around to different positions in the shop. It's hydraulic powered, electrical driven. It's got its own motor, pump, and valve system. Got a relief valve, safety relief valve for safety purposes. Right here we're looking at the pump. We're looking at the pump to motor housing. And the arrow right here is to determine the rotation of the pump. When setting the machine up, the pump must be turning in the direction that the arrow is pointing. Right here we're looking at the relief valve. This relief valve will adjust your pressure up to 3,000 psi. This system will generate up to 3,000 psi. And with the 3-inch bore cylinder here, at 3,000 psi you can generate over 10 tons of forming forces. We're looking at the electrical starter box. This particular system is 230 volts 3-phase. They can be 440, but when you put higher voltage you must have transformers, because a PLC, an electronic system, uses 24 volt switches and 110 volt controls for the PLC system. Here we're looking at the oil filter. Now this particular gun here, it can be positioned in the horizontal position or vertical position. To put it in the vertical position, you simply remove this pin right here, rotate the gun vertically, reinsert the pin, and you have the gun in the vertical position. Now we're looking at the gun in the vertical position. We call it a gun because it's a special cylinder designed by AMH, and they come in different bore diameters. It's very compact, very powerful, and very unique in design. Down here we're looking at the tooling. This is expansion tooling. Now this tooling is used primarily to round out tube ends for orbital welding. For this reason, a clamp may be needed. It may be and maybe not. It has to be determined. And this is one of the mandrels. Depending on the size of the segment sets, you may have to change mandrels. For smaller diameters, you use a smaller mandrel. For bigger diameters, you're going to use a larger mandrel. And what we're doing here is we're going to form the tube end into this clamp assembly, so in order just to round out the tubing. These particular segments are made out of 17-4 stainless steel. They're heat treated because this system will be used under sanitary conditions. Here we're looking at the pressure gauge. This is where you read the pressure that you have in the system. Here we're looking at the control panel, and that switch right there, you use this switch only when you're operating in the manual mode. To the right you go forward, to the left you go reverse. You can use this switch to check your pressures when you're setting the pressures manually. Otherwise, the operation of the machine or the automatic cycle is done here with the foot pedal. What we will do here very shortly, we'll give a demonstration on how the machine operates with the tooling. Here we're looking at an example of what this machine is going to do, and it's going to round out these tube ends, or these valves ends, where tubes are going to be welded using an orbital welding system. So they must be as round as they possibly can get, so there's no mismatch during welding. We will now give a little demonstration as to how this system works. I'm going to give a little demonstration here on how we assemble this. Now, because the tubing is out of round, we'll give you a little idea there that if he tries to put it in that way, he has trouble getting it in there because the tube is out of round. So now if he gives it a little turn, now it just drops right in. Now you take the Allen wrench and just tighten up the clamp and get her good and tight. I'm going to give you a little demonstration on how the system works. If he depresses the foot pedal quickly and then lets go of it, it's only going to do it one at a time. Go ahead and hit it against me. What we were looking at is that it was stroking one stroke at a time. Now he's going to hold his foot pedal down and it'll keep on stroking. And then when it releases the foot pedal, it'll stop. It automatically retracts and you're right set up for the next shot. Back to the part here that has a clamp on it. We're going to take it and we're going to put it on the forming dies. A little demonstration here on forming this. When you form it, you want to rotate it to get as a because these are segments. Gaps do happen when you expand the segment. So now he's going to go through a form cycle, and he's holding it down, and he's just twisting it. And that's the operation right there. We have the gun mounted in the horizontal position, and he's going to stroke it now. Basically, that's all there is to it. And now we'll take it apart, check it, and if it's not, then you may want to do it some more, because the material does have a memory to it, and we're forming inside this clamp die. So hopefully we're going to have the thing nice and round for orbital welding. In fact, we should have it for orbital welding, nice and round. Thank you.